the new characters that are coming out. So we have 3 new things happening in terms of characters. We have this new Legendary Super Saiyan Broly here. We also do have Zenkai 7 Awakenings for not only Goten, which was quite controversial earlier, we have one for this Gohan as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video / stream. If you're new to the channel, hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more content on the channel. We're going to be having showcases for these characters going live whenever we can. I'll try to do probably Gohan first because I'm a Gohan fanboy, so I'm excited about him getting a Zenkai in general, outside of the the way that the game is kind of handling hybrids. I'm excited for this guy getting one in and of himself, right? Just again, outside of the climate of the game and the current characters that have Zenkais and the fact that he probably didn't need it right now, now's not a great time, blah blah blah. I love this character and I'm excited for that, so probably gonna do him first. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about all this overall. Leave all your controversial comments, all your hate comments, all your stuff in the chat down below about how pissed off you are. Let me know, and we'll make this almost like a therapy session for the community here. So it's very late here for me. Like I said, we're gonna be doing those videos, so stay tuned for that. But what I will be doing is we're just gonna be reviewing the characters, and then I'm gonna kind of dip. Like I'll kind of read a few chats. I'm not really gonna be in the chat all that often, so thank you everybody that tuned in, but I have to go eat dinner, so there's that. The meta is about to be a mess. See, the thing is, like, here's the thing, like, if you listen to my video earlier, the way I feel about it just generally is that, like, yeah, it's not a great time. I feel like there really hasn't been a great time since Red Gohan got a Zenkai, but that's a whole different thing. But like, I just feel like there's only so much overkill you can do. Like, I don't look at these characters, no matter how good they wind up being, and just be like, oh, it's gonna be this much worse. I'm just like, they're already like freaking busted. I mean, them getting a blue is a big deal. Goten, I don't know what they do yet. I'm gonna read it, but like, even if they're like freaking like more Z tier characters, I'm just like, dude, at this point, like, whatever. Like, at this point, to me, I'm just like, there's only so much you can do. The team's already ridiculous. Whatever. Like, I don't even. I almost want to say I don't even care anymore. Like, I care for the community's sake, but I almost personally just don't even care. That's just the way I'm looking at it now. I'm just like, okay, well, they've kind of already took this team to the point where I'm just like, what else is new, right? Like, whatever. That's just the way I feel about it personally. Like, I'm not saying anybody's wrong for being mad or anybody's wrong for even not being mad, because there are people that aren't mad at this, but for me personally, I'm just whatever. Well, at this point, whatever. So they're dropping Gohan and Goten tonight, by the way, via summons. Yes, 2 Zenkais tonight. That's fun. They also are doing this thing with Broly where they're releasing him similar to how they're releasing the Ultra character. So you get his Z power from co-op and also from PvP, I believe they said as well. So it's going to be very similar to the Ultra character releases. It's almost like he's an Ultra character, but he's not. We'll see if he's good enough though. So he is a purple character as well, just like the new free Vegeta that came out as well, Purple Saiyan. But this guy's probably going to be geared more towards a powerful opponent, of course. So Vegeta needed to hook up with Bulma a lot sooner. Oh, I barely just woke up and so much is happening. Yeah. Shout out to Twitch as well. Play Tribes, and not as much anymore. I was one of the original like content creators on that game. Not as much anymore. All right, transforming OG Vegeta Ssj. Wow, that'd be cool. Zenkai. Anyways. So Super Saiyan Broly, so powerful opponent, melee character, free character overall, like I said, at 14 star, completely maxed out, about 250,000 strike attack, looking pretty good stats here for a free character. Not really all that surprised though, because I think the last couple were really good stat wise as well. Restores his own health by 25%, inflicts all enemies with downgrade plus 10%, or excuse me, plus 10, excuse me, to all arts costs for 10 counts. Okay. Inflicts all enemies with a downgrade minus 50% to health restoration for 30 counts as well. So, okay. Melee character, we'll see what his uniques do, but I was mainly looking for, like, you know, the typical melee kit, which it looks like he has some of that here. Anyways, plus 30% of strike damage inflicted against Sun Family. Pretty good, obviously. For reasons like I just said, the team's ridiculous, and they're always going to be. That's the thing, like, this team's always going to be good. They're always going to get new characters. They're always going to be, you know, just ridiculous. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Draws a strike card next 3 times. Restores ki by 20. Okay, so this is a watered down but still very good version of like the purple SS3 effect where he enters and draws a strike. I say watered down because it's only 3 times, but and I believe it's less ki. But if it is the same amount of ki, I don't remember. But either way, a very good mechanics nonetheless. Plus 40% strike damage here as well. So off the bat, versus Sun Family, he's going to have a lot of strike damage buffs. He enters with a strike card as well. I almost wish that he did like a strike debuff here instead of some of this other stuff. Like this stuff's cool, like this disruption stuff. It just kind of like bleh, could have been better to me to fit his kit better. Oh, there's a strike debuff here. Nice. Inflicts enemy with the downgrade plus 40% of strike damage received as well. Okay, so when he enters the battlefield, he automatically draws a strike up to 3 times, restores key, gets a strike damage buff, and does a downgrade for strike damage received. All right, that's pretty good actually. Still wish, I don't know, I'm not gonna really harp on that too much more. Applies the following effects itself when the battle starts: plus 50% of damage, reduces damage received, and increases card draw speed by 1 level for 60 counts. This is actually really interesting for early game pressure in conjunction with the fact he has a strike here. That's actually pretty interesting. It looks like he might even be in a position where he might be just looking for more key. Like if he has like a green that gives him key or something like that, that'd be really good. When this character enters the battlefield, applies the following effects to the enemy when they switch characters. So when the enemy switches characters while he's on the battlefield, excuse me, he reduces their key and inflicts a downgrade minus 100% of their key recovery. Interesting. So some more disruption stuff here, but this is mainly good if he gets caught in a combo and they try to switch for type advantage or whatever the case is. The key recovery here is effectively shutting down charge step. That's pretty much what that's doing, because they're going to restore like 1 key in like the entire time they're doing that charge step each time. That's like ridiculous. Maybe like 2, but still. And then he's automatically reducing a flat 15 key as well. So really, they're not going to be able to combo on him very long if they sub while he's on the battlefield. That's the tricky thing. Inflicts enemy with the downgrade plus 15% to explode damage received. Okay, I wish it was more impact, but that's kind of nitpicky, so I don't really care. It's not a huge deal, but it's exclusive to the eraser cannon. This is teachable to Shallot, but not really one of his better moves. We just take a look at the barrier. He has a barrier. Okay, nullifies enemies' attacks, excluding certain attacks like the rush. Shockwave barrier. So this looks like it's this is basically a copy paste of, looks like green Zenkai 7 Broly's barrier. It even only combos into the blue card. It looks like it's a copy paste of that. Restores key, that's pretty good. So but the downside is it's not like an actual comboable one, but I don't want to kind of harp on that too much. I'm kind of spoiled from the GT characters coming out in the way that they can kind of combo into whatever they want to do on theirs. So nonetheless, though, pretty good to have this. And also the key combination allows for the blue card to be more readily accessible. Cancels enemies down, upgrades and buff effects twice as well. Pretty good added effect there. So yeah, the reason why the buff effect cancel is really good as well is because this is going to take away characters' abilities to be immune to his debuffs. That's actually an underrated thing in his kit here, and not a lot of characters have removal of buff effects. There's not very many in the game. So that's quite good for him overall. In fact, again, like I said, he does have these debuffs that are going to be potentially immune, characters to be immune to, but they're not going to be immune to them anymore. Oh, a Super Saiyan buffer. Have not had one of those in a while. Oh, that's another thing. He is a Super Saiyan. If we take a look at the Super Saiyan grouping, I don't believe they needed a purple, right? Did they need a purple? They have like the other Broly off the top of my head. It's kind of loading slowly. I think the site may be being worked on. We take a look at his 6-star Z ability. Super Saiyan strike attack and strike defense, and plus 15% of characters that are powerful opponent and Saiyan powerful opponent characters get another strike attack buff. Okay. At 14, so that's 28 and 18 respectively. Overall, a pretty good option for I guess Super Saiyans exclusively, but really just kind of like melee purple Saiyan character. Really good option for those teams if you're looking for another character to kind of fill that void. If you don't have like purple SS3, for example, who's probably your best purple on a Super Saiyan team, even though he doesn't have the Z ability or get the Super Saiyan specific Z ability buffs. He's still like the best purple that you're going to probably run on that team, because he's so good. But you have a good basically imitation character of that, right? So overall, Broly's pretty nice, man. I like him a lot. Never really loaded this. No, never loaded the Super Saiyan tag. Okay, well, off the top of my head, they have the other Broly and some other stuff like this Goten. Let's see what this Goten is doing. So by the way, if you haven't yet, hit a thumbs up as well as subscribe, and let me know how you guys are feeling about Broly. Let's see what we have here. That's a copy paste of the green one. Yeah, that's what I said. He can go well on powerful opponent / movie team. Yeah, he'll be good there. He'll be good on powerful opponent as well. The Z ability, I kind of get a little apprehensive about that if you're not running like a full powerful opponent set personally. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. I think powerful opponent, for the most part, off the top of my head, may not really need a purple. I can't really check. I know I'm thinking of like Murtamasu, but he's not good enough to say they don't need a new purple. There's somebody else. I can't think of it right now. I can't. There's Purple Rose. There's another character in there. Either way, though, it is what it is. Oh, Demon King Piccolo as well. That's what it is. So yeah, I guess they don't really need him on powerful opponent. But again, if you don't have an option that's better, then by all means, right? So Goten, let's see what they're doing here for the next meta game killer. 288. Oh, okay. Blast attack. Nice. So Goten, let me just kind of brief you on something that he was doing. He was very restricted in his kit. He needed to be on like a full Super Saiyan 1 team exclusively, actually, to even get his ultimate damage buff for your main ability. Super Saiyan 1 exclusively, not 2, none of that. He also had unique abilities and stuff like that that tied in his ultimate as well, that was exclusive to buffing Gohan only characters. It would be interesting to see if they change that stuff to being more Sun Family oriented or even hybrid oriented. That would make him a lot better. But I mean, the best characters in most of those groupings are pretty much Gohan characters, so either way it's fine for now. But I'm thinking about longevity wise. And then other than that though, Goten did have a unique ability that allowed him to get bonus key on entry, which was pretty problematic. And I was thinking, like, if they gave him the ability to draw a blast card, he'd be like just absurd. I don't want that to happen. Also, he does have the paralysis blast, right? Doesn't he hold a paralysis blast? Yeah. Okay, Goten's gonna be annoying. Either way, he's gonna be annoying. All right, let's see. Let's just get this over with. Draws the ultimate next, restores his ki, plus 50% damage inflicted for 15 counts if all 3 battle members are Sun Family and Super Saiyan. They still kept that restriction. Okay. So he's still limited to just Super Saiyan 1 only Sun Family teams. Okay. So that's off the bat. It gives me the idea Goten's not going to be that crazy relative to what he was before. Which is kind of surprising for me, because I thought with him being a premium character, Legends Limited needed 7-star higher, that they'd probably just go all out on him. But if they're going to continue the trend they've been doing, then that may help. But the thing is, like, he's so good regardless, I don't think it'll really matter a ton, but we'll see. Applies the following effects itself if Gohan is a battle member when he enters the battlefield. Draws a blast card next. He does do a freaking blast. I saw this coming. It only happens 3 times, but still, I saw this coming. I was thinking in my head, like, he's so blast based. Watch him just draw a freaking blast on entry. And they actually did it. I'm not surprised by this. It only happens 3 times, but like, that's enough. 3 times is more than enough. If I didn't make that clear with Broly, that's more than enough. How many times are you gonna switch him in? 10 times? How long is your match? 15 minutes? It's not happening most times. And he restores ki by 50, so he's gonna shoot right back up. And you know, he has, I believe, card cost down and stuff like that. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Plus 25% of damage inflicted by Sun Family characters. Oh, okay. Just an automatic, always active, passive buff for the first, after the 25 counts have elapsed. Okay. Minus 15 to special move arts cost for Gohan's, and shortens Gohan character subcounts as well. This is more of the stuff here that's like ridiculous. He allows, this really enables purple Gohan. The good news is that they're duplicating colors, so maybe you don't want to run them, but this really enables him to be, like, his card cost for purples on a purple red team is what? It's what, 20? Maybe? His card cost of the blue card is going to be ridiculously low, and he'll be able to sub super fast, especially early game pre-revive, especially if you pop back Gohan's green card. So yeah, sub count down. That's pretty crazy. 25%. I believe that was for Sun Family in the first place. Yes, they didn't really change a ton there. They added in just the blast card and ki, but they didn't really change a ton there with that first unique ability for Gohan. He already had the ki. They really just added the blast card. That's pretty much it. All right, let's see family bonds here post Zenkai. Applies the following effects itself per Sun Family member when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 20% to blast. So this actually is per Sun Family battle member. It doesn't say excluding himself. So on a full Sun Family team with all 3 battle members alive, these are times 3. So 60% blast damage, 45% strike damage. That's interesting because he did literally 0 strike damage before. So this is a way to kind of make up for that, I guess. And then also 60% ki recovery. Do I need to remind you that Red LF Gohan also offers blast damage and ki recovery allies at I bought 60 and 40% clip to his allies? Okay. And minus 9 to the blast arts cost. By the way, when he enters the battlefield again, he'll still get the blast card and the ki recovery and card cost down. Good lord, if he had draw speed, he'd just rip you to pieces. They reset after switch, meaning that obviously if you lose a battle member, you will get a weaker version of those. Again, if it said excluding himself, it would be times 2, but it's just times 3 because it doesn't say that. Additional 45% of blast damage inflicted if an allied Sun Family character is defeated. So if you do lose a Sun Family character, you wind up getting weaker versions of strike, ki recovery, and card cost down, but you get a better version of blast, right? So yeah, you get a better version of blast. So that's a pretty big difference there. Now his Zenkai abilities are here. Applies the following effects itself when this character evades an enemy's attack with a vanishing step. So if you get a perfect vanish, this is going to be really good. Restores ki and then -10 to special move arts cost. So they're cheapening his blue card and giving him more ki. The thing about this combination is his blue card restored his vanish gauge. So like that's actually really good. Really good. I'd personally probably go for a couple blasts, sidestep a few times or whatever, and then use the blue, so that way you can be at like 90% vanish gauge restoration and just chill for a second, or maybe full, right, and then be able to vanish again. Applies the following effects itself when the battle starts, plus 15% to damage inflicted, can't be canceled, and plus 15%. They love giving out this 15% damage cut. 15% damage cut can't be canceled. Restores health by 5% when this character is switched to standby. Activates 3 times. I believe, didn't he have this already? No, it might be his unique equip that had something like that. That's another thing. He has a freaking unique equip. I can't load the stupid site, but I think his unique equip offered health restoration on sub out, right? Good lord, Goten's gonna actually heal a lot. Yeah, the site's not loading. It's a good thing I had these pages loaded already, because it's just not working. Yeah, it's clearly down. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna heal a lot, clearly. Blue card restores 60%. Was it 60 before? It was 40. Oh yeah, I was like, there's no way that it was that good, because I used him not that long ago. Okay, well, you just sized up a couple times and you're back to 100. Perfect. Green card restores ki, changes his strikes to blast, and gives him a blast damage buff. I don't believe it gave a blast buff. Oh, it didn't give ki before. Okay, so this is ridiculous. How much does it cost? It costs 15, but he'll have ki on entry. He'll have card cost down. He's gonna rip you to pieces with blasts. Blast family is finally making a return 2 years later. Deals massive impact damage here. Applies the following effects itself upon activation. Nullifies endurance. Did he have nullify before, or was he like one of the first characters I started getting it? Yeah, he was one of the first ones, I think. Anyways, also applies the following effects to Gohan characters. Plus 20%, plus 25 here, and cancel downgrades. So like, here's the deal. Okay, let me just say this. They didn't really change a ton with Goten. They really didn't. It was kind of minor tweaks here and there, like adding ki to the green card, adding in some more of the, obviously they added 2 whole new passive abilities, so you can't understate that. He's going to do better because of that. They added in some like strike damage here. I believe it wasn't 45. It might have been. Yeah, it was 45 before. So like they didn't really change a ton. They gave him on entry stuff right here for the blast card. They didn't change a ton, but the problem is, he's already had a baseline that was so good that you don't have to change a ton to make him really one of the more premium characters in the game. It's like they didn't go all out on him, but he's still really good. He has a really good kit. Purple Sun family, Zenkai ability, not surprised there. We already know his Z ability. Like they didn't change a ton, but what this Super Saiyan Super Saiyan 1 exclusive equip is getting awakening. God, I wish I could freaking load the site. It won't load. All right, so yeah, Goten's gonna be just a monster. They didn't change a ton, but like the stat upgrade too. Like you can't. The thing is, like with the Zenkais, people kind of talk about like their kits too much. Like people were underrating Piccolo. Like I didn't really love Piccolo either by reading them. But the thing is, you can't overlook the fact these characters have these stupid stats, dude. And then they have the Zenkai ability that at bare minimum is being applied to themselves always. Even if you don't run other characters, at least to themselves. That's the thing. You know, I always say this, like your crappy Zenkai characters, like your purple Scouter Vegetas, or your red Super Saiyan 1 Gokus, or whoever you think is bad among Zenkai characters, is still going to rip apart most of the game, especially if they're a non-Zenkai character, because their stat distribution is so high. It's so high. The Goten's got nearly 300,000 blast attack. He has all the damage buffs and stuff. Like, this is going to be a character that rips you to pieces, right? So yeah, let's take a look at Gohan here. So Gohan had some sub count down, party heals. He had actually I think like 60% cut in his optimal scenario. Gohan was actually pretty tanky. So let's see how he's built now. He had a melee focus as a defense type character. Strike attack 190, 195,000. Clearly one of the better defensive stat distributions in the game at this point. Draws the ultimate. His ult had party sub count down, which was I think it was 10 counts. Like it was pretty crazy. I'm noticing that a good deal of his buffs can be canceled, which means that he is susceptible unit to. Yeah, but like, okay, like if your buffs are cancelable, fine. That doesn't really matter, because the thing about buff canceling, for one, is that they reset on entry. So okay, you just sub him out and you bring him back, it's fine. You know, that's one thing. Two, the thing is, like with him, again, the stat distribution is so high that he'll still rip you to pieces. He'll still do what he wants to do for the most part, even if his buffs are canceled. That's not a huge deal. Like I think think buff canceling is great, but it's not in this game as good as it was once upon a time, because the characters are so progressive now with the way that they're built, with the stats and all that stuff, that it's not as huge of a deal. And then at the bare minimum, you just sub him out and then you bring him back. Like, it's a good thing that he can be canceled, but I'm not looking at that as some major downside, nor do I look at that as some major downside to characters anymore, to be honest. Fun family. Nothing is stronger than family. Oh my god, the memes are back. Yeah, so plus 20% to damage inflicted by 20 counts for his allies, so some support here. Party heal here, 15%. Restores allies health by additional 10% per defeated battle member. This is pretty good. So he's healing everybody and giving damage buff. He doesn't get key though for the ult, but he might get that somewhere else, like on entry. We'll see. The following effects occur based on the number of battle members. If you have 3 battle members, he reduces damage received by 40 when changing cover. This is like the same pre as post. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Reduces damage received by 60% when you lose 1 character. And then if there's only 1 character left, you obviously are not going to be cover cutting, so you're going to be getting a damage buff instead if he's your last man. Plus 2 to sub counts as default. So the thing about this is it's not very good. This is why Goten actually needed this ability here to reduce sub count, because it takes that off. So Gohan is going to be in a position where you automatically always are going to pretty much have 2 more counts on him than every other character in the game, barring like debuffs or whatever that make you take longer. So that's why Goten had that built in, but again, it's just abusable now. That's the point. The following effects occur based on Sun Family battle members when the character enters the battlefield, plus 25% to strike. Again, this is a multiplier. Again, it doesn't say only him. It's times 3, so 75 and 45 key recovery. Effects reset after switch, additional 45% to strike damage inflicted if Goku is defeated. They haven't really changed anything here. This is like all the same. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, what? It's like all the same. Anyways, when you enter the battlefield, so 75 and actually 60 here. So, okay. And he gets 45% if a Sun family is defeated. Instead of a Goku character, any Sun family being defeated now gives him a strike damage buff. Okay. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Let me make sure I read everything here. Yeah. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 15% to damage and inflicts enemy with the downgrade. Plus 10 to the strike and blast starts costs. Okay. So entering the battlefield and inflicting card cost debuffs is pretty good. Especially because he's a defense character. So that's going to be good with his tankiness. Applies the following effects to the enemy when changing cover. Reduces their key and destroys 1 card. Okay. So it's going to be like, I'm not really seeing where he's going to be able to really disrupt too much more than that. Okay, but this last unique is where it's at. So let's kind of add up his defensive properties. Aside from the fact he has a party heal and damage buff, which isn't really necessarily defense, but the party heal especially, he has up to 60% cut. And in this scenario, by the way, he will also be getting, if you're on a full Sun Family team anyway, or at least a Sun Family hybrid build and you have defeated Sun Family, whatever, he'll also be getting this, right? But long story short, just like Goten, but for the record, before we proceed, just like Goten, who gets the blast buff when you have a defeated character, Gohan's buff will fall off, but it will skyrocket even higher, right? It's the same type of idea, just a strike version of it, because this is a high number of 45. Anyways, his defensive package is 40 or 60%, depending on how many battle members you have for cut. But not only that, when he enters the battlefield, he will debuff them by applying a plus 10 to the arts card cost for strikes and blasts. That's pretty good. It automatically means he won't be able to get comboed as long because they're going to be using more key. But not only that, he'll destroy a card. Pretty good. Really good. And reduce their key as well. So he's really not going to get comboed very long at all between these 3 abilities. So very good for him. And then he'll be able to kind of go from there. Not a ton of damage otherwise outside of this one unique that offers the strike buff. Just like the other character, all this stuff is cancelable. I kind of talked about how that's a good thing. Really, it's a way for them to kind of apply some balance to the game, but also not something I'm looking at as some huge drawback. I just don't look at it as a drawback anymore, really. A year ago, yeah, sure, but it's obviously not great if a character has cancelable buffs, but it's just, I don't think it's some major deterrent anymore. I just don't. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't want to underrate it. It's a great ability, and I'd rather have it than not. And I'd rather have non-cancelable than not. But I don't look at it as something that's like a make or break for me. Anyways, so we take a look here at the Masenko, plus 20% to damage and on activation. Okay. Changes strikes to blast. He doesn't get key like Goten. Okay. He's got like a lot of the same stuff as Goten. He doesn't get key here though. He does get the strike damage buff. He does get this. So he's really devoid of key. He really needs key. Like, you don't see any key anywhere in his kit, really. He really is, like, dependent on key to be able to do his damage output. He doesn't even get ki on the ultimate, on the main, excuse me, for the ultimate. Like, he needs ki. That's the main thing that's missing here. They actually, okay, so unlike Goten, Gohan also had a very high baseline to be really good, but Gohan is actually following in suit with things like Piccolo and the more recent Zenkais that have been coming out, like SS2 Caulifla, these characters that are stat machines, right? Like I was talking about, Zenkai characters have stats machines. They're stat machines. But like Gohan is actually pretty tame in relation to, like I think Goten, they tried to be tame with him, but they failed because giving him a couple little things here and there is too much. It's just, he didn't need it really, or he needed it to be relevant himself, but like it's too much, it's too easy, right? With Gohan here, they didn't really do a ton more. So massive damage. He gets a buff here and shortens his sub count, same effect he had before. This is a ridiculous ability, by the way. Automatically sub into whoever you want after this, pretty much. Ridiculous ability. So blue Super Saiyan characters. Oh, that's another thing. I haven't really talked about it too much. Oh, this is pretty good for the record, but like blue purple Super Saiyan, I guess, is enabled. I guess it would be more enabled if Bardock was a Sun Family character. He's not, because he's not a part of the Sun Family, and the tag is not called Goku's family, it's called Sun Family. Huge distinction there, as Sun Family is descendants of Grandpa Gohan and not Bardock necessarily. So they are the same, but you get the point. There's a difference there. So Gohan, I'm actually not really upset about the way they built him at all, really. But again, it's the whole microcosm of Sun Family and hybrid. Can I load this? No. It's the whole thing of hybrids and Sun Family, and the fact people just want them to ignore these characters for now. Did he deserve a Zenkai? Sure. This character came out before the 1-year anniversary. Same as Goten. They deserve Zenkais. They're so old, right? But I don't think there really was a good time to release these characters. I don't think there was going to be a good time to release these characters, so I guess they might as well, right? Really, the question is, what's the next LF? People are saying it's going to be a Broly. I don't know if I think that as well, considering they're giving us a free Broly here. We already have a couple one LF Broly, right? We already have an LF Broly. We have a couple Brolys from these original DBZ movies. I don't really know what's happening here. I don't think it's a Broly, though. We'll see. But we'll see what happens ultimately. So let me know what you guys think here. Gohan's gonna be pretty good, but that Goten, like I said, he got some minor tweaks that are pretty crazy. Why are there 2 Zenkai characters? Yeah, it's kind of weird. They dropped 2 Zenkai characters at the same time here, but I guess it is what it is. They should have Zenkai'd all 3 of them. Yeah, Goku, I'm actually kind of looking at as like the odd man out here, because he could have been interesting with those defeated buffs. The next LF will probably be a new LF Gohan. IT Goku, nuts. Yeah, definitely a pretty balanced PvP. Goten very poggers. Goten's quite good, man. Will it be better than SS2 Trunks? Gohan, I think Trunks has a very strong argument and claim to fame, but the thing is, like, I think Gohan might edge him out just because of the party attributes, like the party heal, the party sub count downs, like all these little things, right? They did 2 Zenkais. Yeah, just like when they did Gohan and Cell Zenkais. Yes, I think it was the last time they did 2. All right. So I'm pretty much out. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. And hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.